J Black, yeah, yeah. How we pull, we done came from the richest, came from the block where we get it, came from the land where we gifted. Everybody talk about change, but niggas is critics. I wanna live it, I wanna live like I'm living. I know the sky ain't the limit.
What's up,
I know
y'all?
we up, way past that. Yeah, how we move out of orbits exhibit. Showing my path, showing my passion. When I talk about all this shit of distraction, I know them people be trying to take nature back from us, but forgetting this an attachment. We is attached, this shit ain't reverse. This shit for real, this shit ain't no curse. This is the way this shit is rehearsed. We was put here to move since birth. We were just made to move like a jeweler. We were just made to move like a ruler. We were just made to move like a king. We were just made to aid our queens. I know them people that struggle to breathe. I wanna live like the life in my dreams. I wanna move and vibrate more higher. I know them youngins be getting too tired. I wanna say that I'm moving flyer. They put the whip up and say that we hired. I know them youngins can barely get by. I wanna tell them forever I'm sorry. I know them foreigners coming right in, trying to take more and more of our land. They get help from by then. I want my niggas out that pen. I want that nigga out that house. I want the house to get turned black. Would say the house to get burned down, but I might start getting attacked. I don't want to talk too much, cause them people gonna say that it's hate speech. That's just the way that they play me, baby. I don't give a fuck, there's some animals, nigga get the rabies. Save me, all about health like Sadie. I knew the shit was over when I see Slim Shady. Niggas trying to come copy your fucking way that we move, and they trying to take a ball out sauce. I done seen how the guys on the planet got hurt and then they wanna evolve. I wanna tell niggas that they ain't no shh, but niggas might talk too soft. Yeah, whole lot of drip, whole lot of solar rays getting off, whole lot of damn cancer. People getting hurt from the karma of the gods. People getting hurt from the light in the rays. Take the army out, trying to take them out the base. I don't want they women trying to act all fake. Rinse me up for DNA. I remember them painful days. I seen the history and got amazed. I want to learn way more when that. Then once I learned that, then I got in track. Once I learned how to stay more facts, then I learned how to go ahead and go double back. Cause it's
I had them up. I cranked that one. Hold up. All right. What's up, y'all, man? Peace, family. Peace. I'm back again with another one. You know, that song I just played was that Solar Flow. I dropped 2 songs today, man. If y'all ain't know, I do my little music on the side too. You know, I do a little best of everything. So, you know, I dropped them 2 today. I got tonight. Just gonna do a little talk about, you know, just a little sun talk, man. This is exactly what we say, Sunblood at night. You know what I mean? We still bring the sun out. You know what I mean? Let me see. Let me go here. Got the dogs barking. So in that Solar Flow, I had a video. That video I played in the back, right? I'm gonna actually play the actual video for y'all because I found it was a little interesting though. You know, I just used it for a little background, but I'm gonna actually play the video and let y'all listen to it, and then we're gonna go through from there. So yeah, let me start the sharing process. Yeah. Boom. Okay, this is Sun Man and the Rulers of the Sun. That's what it's called. All right. So let me go into it. Boom. Turn that sound on. Turn it up. Okay, it is up. Hold on, I'm gonna rewind that back. I wanna play. I wanna read that little intro right there in case y'all just following along, you know. So it says, in the beginning were the suns, and the suns are with nature, and the suns are nature. The suns are the true stars, and the suns are the gods who grew nature into universe order. And mind you, this video dropped, what, it was like, say, 10 years ago? Let me check. Yeah, it was 10 years ago this video dropped. Okay. So, yeah, that says right there. Drinking that pineapple juice and Kombucha mix.
In the center of the universe sits the sun, shining down majestic and warm, the source of all energy and life. The Sun people are a gentle, loving, rich, and strong people, who come from the land of the sun. Thousands of years ago in ancient Egypt, the sun god observed that within the great kingdom of the land of the sun, there was a prince who was fair and kind to his many workers, and they were able to build the great pyramid temples of the sun. This prince was I, Prince Sunni Ali, and I was known throughout the land as one who ruled with dignity and intelligence. My great works pleased the sun god, and so, the sun god adopted me, Prince Sunni Ali, as his very own son. But evil also lurked in the land of the sun. There was also a rich and villainous man in the land of the sun, who was known throughout the land as a devious and spiteful lord who spread despair among his workers. He used his wealth to build torturous chambers in which to punish those who did not obey him. These evil deeds displeased the sun god, and this evil man was transformed by the sun god into a hideous creature, half man and half hog, and was forever to be known as Pighead. One night, while I slept, a beautiful fairy appeared in my dreams. She spoke in a lovely voice saying,
"The great sun god is pleased with the fairness and kindness you have spread while building the great pyramid temples of the sun. For this, he has made you his son, and you will forever be called Sun Man. You, and all the sun people, will be granted immortality, and you shall live in happiness forever."
Just then, she brought forth a shield which shined as magnificent as the sun itself, and in the reflection of the shield, was the image of a beautiful floating city, nestled in the center of the sun. Suddenly, the booming chords of the voice of the sun god spoke to me, his chosen son, saying,
"The sun is the most glorious force in the universe. You, Prince Sunni Ali, from the kingdom of the land of the sun, you have been righteous and good to those who have worked for you, and you have been able to achieve great accomplishments and build great pyramid temples in honor of the sun. For this, I shall make you my son, and you shall be immortal. You shall live in, and rule over, a kingdom which has been built for you and placed in the center of the sun. None of the sun's fiery force shall ever harm you or the sun people, for within the warmth of the sun, there is a glorious paradise. But, to all those who use the sun to light their evilness, they shall feel its furnace."
A great hand appeared, and handed me this mighty spear. Then the sun god spoke again, saying,
"Sunni Ali, you have ruled justly. Your fairness and strength will be needed for humanity to survive the moon cycle and the days of wickedness to come. Beware of Pighead, for he is a mean, devious, and angry creature. He lives with one cold desire, and that is to bring dishonor and shame to everyone throughout the universe. He has trained his demons to follow his evil plan, and he and his followers will always lurk in the shadows beneath the sun, and never shall they dwell in the land of paradise in the sun."
In that moment, I became Sun Man. The sun god placed a small sun within the solar plexus of my chest, and told me that whenever I am in need of guidance, I can call on the power of the sun which dwells within me, to provide me with the strength I need to defeat the evil forces that will roam the earth during the moon cycle. The sun god gave me great etheric golden wings of the immortal phoenix bird, which bestowed upon me the power to fly at the speed of light, and I was also given the power to travel in, and out, of the sun at will. I was given the power to become an Etherian, who can control and harness the power of the sun and all stars throughout the universe, because all stars in the universe are in fact suns. Using the sun stars of the universe as stargate portals, I am able to travel from solar system to solar system throughout the universe at will. My melanin-rich skin was made invulnerable and indestructible so that no wickedness can harm me. My magical melanin skin gave me unequaled, unlimited, and special super strength. My skin could not be cut, burned, bruised, broken, pierced, stabbed, ripped, or removed. Many special powers were bestowed upon me, allowing me to fight for goodness, liberty, justice, and equality without fear, as I usher in the return of the sun cycle. The rulers of the sun, Sun Man and the Sun people, continue to fight for fairness and righteousness throughout the universe. I have allies around the world such as Holographo from Nigeria, Space Sumo from China, Digitino from Mexico, Bold Man of the Cherokee tribe of Native Americans, Duplico from Ireland, Hypno from Haiti, Zapman from Jamaica, Kito from Brazil, and my queen, Amina, also known as the superheroine, Butterfly Woman. Disguised as Sunny Smith, I Sun Man, live amongst you on earth, always protecting you, and always spreading the warmth of the sun, fighting for liberation, truth, justice, and equality. Evildoers beware, I am able to turn evil into illusion. The sun cycle has come, and I, Sun Man, the greatest superhero of them all, have returned.
So yeah, that's that video, y'all, right there, man. I know it's interesting. There's a whole bunch of key points in there, man. There's a whole bunch of key points. Play that back again. That is Sun Man and the Ruler of the Sun. Channel is the Big Head Scientist. Y'all go check that out for sure. You know, a whole lot of gems in there. Next, we're gonna get into how does energy from the sun get transferred to living organisms. It's a quick little video.
We have already learned that plants are the producers of food. They convert energy from the sun to food. In other words, we can say that plants store energy from sun in the form of fruits, flowers, leaves, branches, roots, stem, etc. When a consumer eats any part of plant, energy stored in that part gets transferred to it. Consumer uses this energy for physical activities as well as its growth. In a consumer, energy is stored in the form of muscles and bones. When a carnivore eats a herbivore, energy stored in herbivore's body gets transferred to carnivore. Carnivore use this energy to perform physical activities and grow. And as it grows, energy gets stored in the form of its muscles and bones. After the death of carnivore, its body gets decomposed by microorganisms. Decomposition is the process by which a complex material is broken down into smaller materials. In this process, a lot of nutrients are released in the soil. Plants use these nutrients and sunlight to prepare their food and grow. In each step, only 10% of energy gets transferred between living beings and rest 90% is used in physical activities. It is clear that all the living beings directly and indirectly get energy from sun, and thus sun is called the primary and universal source of energy.
See that? Just a cycle of energy being passed. That's all it is. Hold up. It's just a cycle of energy. That's all. It's just going in a loop. One thing takes care of the next thing, and takes care of the next thing, and then the next thing comes through and takes care of that, and it is a complete cycle. It's amazing, ain't it? They all started from what you would call outer space. All right, I'm gonna read it. The sun is good for bone health. Vitamin D is necessary for strong bones and muscles. Without vitamin D, our bodies cannot effectively absorb calcium, which is essential to good bone health. So without vitamin D, you can't even absorb calcium. You know how they say, yeah, calcium is good for your bones. Well, if you don't have vitamin D, you can't even absorb the calcium that's good for your bones. Vitamins are special nutrients that the body needs, but cannot synthesize, which means it cannot make it by itself. So they must be obtained from what we eat or by supplements. Our body can make vitamin D in our skin when it is exposed to good sunlight. So adequate sun exposure can help us in maintaining bone health. So it's basically saying you eat the sun, you know, and it says you obtain this by what you eat or by supplements, you know. So if you eat a supplement or what you eat, period, you know what I mean? So vitamins, pills and stuff like that, which is not good. It's like fake supplements, but what we eat. So right in the next line after it says what you eat, it says vitamin D is in our skin when it is exposed to good sunlight. Basically saying vitamin D is eaten out of the sunlight through our skin. So we eat more than just through our mouth. We eat through our skin as well. You know, that's from a bunch of things, air, pollution, stuff like that. And of course the sun. So I just had to read that out, clarify that. We're on to the next one. Turn it down a little bit. Turn it down a little bit. Hold on. I'm playing that loud piano music. All right. So it also boosts the immune system, or what you call a lymphatic system. The white blood cells, which increase with sun exposure, are called lymphocytes, and these play a major role in defending the body against infections. So sunlight helps in increasing lymphocytes and boost the immunity. Well, that's kind of up and down situation. It's more red blood cells that do that, but I guess you could say they transform into white blood cells from the actual fact of an infection coming in the body. So whatever, but the sunlight helps basically increase your lymphatic system and gives it strength to move. So you got that, and it eats your body eats sunlight to grown bones, which is basically the density used to keep your body at a good structure to move around. So that's two things right there knocked down. Let's go to the next one. Right. Scientists says that particular type of ultraviolet light emitted by the sun can be very effective at killing germs. Generally, UV lamps are used in biotechnology industry to keep their premises sterilized, free from bacteria. So biotechnology, you already know that's fake technology, basically. Fake technology used off a actual bio living organism. So they basically seen something that was living and they remade the artificial intelligent version of it. So since it says it kills bacteria, you gotta think the sun kills bad bacteria, or what you would call ineffective bacteria that does nothing for perseverance of life. So ultraviolet light kills bad bacteria, and you see certain people, or um I guess you could call them bacteria too, germs, they die under sunlight. So you think about that. You think like the sun kills bad bacteria, aka germs, and certain people die when they're exposed to sunlight. So basically, it means sunlight is killing a germ, basically. Isn't that interesting? So basically, this too, if you get let's say a skin rash or something like that, eczema or something like that, they actually say stay out the sun, but if you was to go in the sun, it would actually help burn and kill that bacteria off of you, basically. So it's kind of like reverse of what they saying. So that's interesting too. That's one thing, right? That's three right there. So we got builds bone density. Okay, that's one. We got it builds the lymphatic system, and then it kills germs from the outside of your body and basically any germ walking around. Next. All right. It lowers cholesterol level. Sunlight deficiency could increase blood cholesterol by allowing squalene metabolism to progress to cholesterol synthesis in skin. So adequate sun exposure is required to lower down the cholesterol synthesis in our body. Okay, so if you don't get the right amount of sunlight, your blood pressure will increase, which will cause your blood pressure will increase, and your flow of your blood pressure will get, I guess, more blockage to it. So it won't flow adequately. So you got to increase blood pressure and it's not flowing right. So basically what that does is pile up, it's like blood moving fast to get to a blockade, you know what I mean? Because it's not flowing good, but it's pressurized. It's moving faster, but there's nowhere to move to, right? So if you don't get the adequate amount of sunlight that you're supposed to eat through your skin, then your blood flow won't be right. Your blood flow will be off. So that's another, like, this sun is important, man. It's more than just some simple things, right? The sun is how you stay alive. Like if you didn't have the sun, you wouldn't be here. So that's another one. Going to the next one. Going to the next one. All right. It increases oxygen content in your blood. So study shows that sunlight also enhances the body's capacity to deliver oxygen to the tissues, very similar to the effects of exercise. The sunlight has a great effect on stamina, fitness, and muscular development. So, you know how they say like you eat food to get your energy and be able to move and do more things? Well, you eat food, you eat sunlight as well, as we saw in the other tab, right? So since you eat in sunlight, it gives you energy to do things. So it gives you oxygen to your tissues. So your tissues are what? Cells that's made up in your body. So basically the sun is giving life to your cells. It's giving your cells the energy to breathe. You know, oxygen is like life. It's just you breathe it in, you can you can keep going, right? Like just breathing in oxygen is a source of energy. So the sunlight is giving you a source of oxygen to your cells. That's how your cells breathe. You breathe through the air, your cells breathe through sunlight and photon and solar energy. Okay. And they say, look at that. They say it's the same effects as stamina, fitness, and muscular development. So that means you could sit out in the sunlight and get buff. You know what I mean? You could sit out in the sunlight and get healthier. You can go for jogs, you know, in the sunlight. You can last longer, have better oxygen. Of course, you have better stamina because you have more oxygen in your cells, which is overall better oxygen in your body. So of course you'll get more stamina. So that's amazing. Next one. Cures depression. Sunlight deprivation can cause a condition called seasonal affective disorder, SAD. It's funny, SAD, a form of depression. It is more common in winter months because you obviously don't have as much sunlight, you know, in the winter months, but also common in people who work long hours in office buildings. Adequate sunlight will help in minimizing this condition. So, on top of it having a physical effect on your body, it has a mental effect on your body as well, a spiritual effect on your body. Like not being in the sun enough can actually make you not feel good, make you feel, well, what you would call sad, seasonal affective disorder. And they notice this all in winter months where the sun isn't as present, you know, or people aren't outside in the sun as much. And for people that just stay indoors a lot, you know, they have a natural depression with them where they just feel like sad and they don't even know why. They just don't know why, but it's because you're deprived of sunlight, which is giving you life. So this sun is giving you life physically and mentally. It's way deeper than just, oh yeah, you got some sunlight, your skin's good. No, this is keeping you alive for the long haul. It's keeping all your organs in check and it's keeping your mental in check, your brain in check. So we're gonna go to the next one. All right, stop right here. It increases growth and height of children. Studies have shown that sun exposure in the first few months has an effect on how tall the person grows because sunlight will lead to production of vitamin D3 in our body. Vitamin D has an important function in increasing calcium and phosphorus absorption from foods and plays a crucial role in skeletal development, immune function, and blood cell formation, like I said earlier. So they come to find out that this sunlight helps you grow. It helps your cells get the right amount of oxygen, of course. So, of course, it's going to do something good for your body. It's helping you grow. So, you see how a lot of people now, a lot of the younger group coming up now, you see a lot of us is shorter now. It's because they're not in the sun enough. And you're like, damn, it seems like each generation getting shorter and shorter because it's less kids outside. I was talking to my girl today about how we used to be outside all day long, just in the sunlight, just outside, running around from when sun up to sundown. When that street light come on, everybody go in the house, you know? So nowadays it's cell phones, computers, a whole bunch of indoor activities, you know what I mean? That kids don't really go outside that much anymore. You know, it's no real reason to go outside. And it's, of course, you know, on top of a lot of danger outside, a lot of kids aren't going outside. So that affects their growth stimulation. That affects their whole development. You know what I mean? So if it feeds your bones, bones helps you gain that height and that size, right? So bones are a part of growth and height, right? Then on top of that, your cells breathe through the sun. So that's increasing oxygen and more strength for your blood cells to form. You know what I mean? So your cells are able to do more to grow and optimize your body to its fullest potential, to be able to transform what I guess you could call evolve your body to the next step in life. So the sun is basically helping your bones to help you grow, helping your cells to form so you can grow properly, and for your blood to be purified and have your cells grow inside of there as well to flow to the spots that they have to go to help you grow. Go on to the next one. Okay, same thing, but we'll read it. Cleans blood and the blood vessels. Medical literature published in Europe, in the Europe, showed that the people with what's that? Osteosclerosis, hardened arteries, basically, improved with sun exposure. Okay, so once they digest the sun, it was able to soften the arteries to have more flow going through it. To basically bring energy to your body. Okay, it's going to kind of a little repetitive, but we're going to read it too. UV radiation, which is natural sunlight, it has been used to successfully treat a number of diseases, including rickets, psoriasis, eczema, and jaundice. This therapeutic use cannot eliminate the negative side effects of UV radiation, but treatment takes place under medical supervision to ensure that the benefit outweighs the risk. So remember I told you they'll say like, oh yeah, it's a risk to having these skin disorders, you know what I'm saying, and going out in the sun. But at the same time, they'll say it's a benefit to it too, though. Well, yeah, it's a benefit for certain people, and for some people, it's not a benefit. You know what I mean? It's an up and down situation. So same thing we was talking about. Going to the next one. Anti-cancer effects. This is interesting. A number of what's that say? Hold up. Epidemiologic studies, basically skin studies, have investigated whether people with higher vitamin D intakes or higher blood levels of vitamin D have lower risk of specific cancers. Exposure of sunlight will help in synthesis of vitamin D in our body itself. So the same source of energy they're saying that can cause cancer can heal cancer. Like I said earlier, it's for certain people it can help, for some people it can't. You know, so for certain people, you take in this sunlight, it will actually take away the risk of cancer and the possibility of building up cancer, which is basically dead cells, anyways. So if you think your blood cells and all your cells in your body are getting cleansed out and getting purified, of course, any dead cell buildup anywhere in your body will come out and be clarified as well. You're saying the hardened arteries was able to get reversed. So, of course, some buildup of hardened cells that's dead will be cleared out as well, which gives your body energy and helps it to heal itself. See, we got like one more. Oh, okay, that's it. Yeah, so that's interesting. That's 10 benefits of sunbathing. You know what I mean? Like I said, we need a nice amount of sunbathing. So the next one we're going to get into is this is all sun talk, I promise you. We're getting into breatharian. What's his name? Elitam El Amin. Okay, he's a breatharian. So we're going to hear his little philosophy.
Hey guys, this is Anjana. Elitom calls me Angel, and I love connecting the right people and spread the awareness regarding health. So I met Elitom 4 months ago at a retreat, and since then we are in touch. And this time when he was coming, he contacted, and we started arranging the seminars, the retreats, the talks. So here we are. Elitom, over to you with your life story.
Hi, my name is Elitom Elamine, and I'm a breatharian. And a breatharian is a person that can eat very little or none at all. Now, I grew up in Ohio, USA. And growing up in Ohio, USA, I grew up in a family where my mother made sure that we always had food within the household. She made sure so much that we had extra freezers, extra refrigerators, and we actually fed the whole neighborhood. So me growing up in this type of household, when I finally broke away and got my own family and got married, that idea too was in my head to always have enough food to feed your family. And I also bought extra freezers, extra refrigerators, because that was the idea, to always have food available. Now, as time went forth, I began to gain more and more weight, and I began to feel very bad. However, everybody in my reality, growing up in America, because it was encouraged to eat the 3 meals a day, however, it was the 5 meals a day and the big portions, that was commonplace where I grew up at. So, however, I began to gain more and more weight, really feel bad about myself. And then one day, as I had to go see the doctor, my blood pressure began to rise, and a whole lot of other things began to come into play. However, one day, out of being desperate, I ran into a man who said, "Won't you just leave meats alone?" Now, at that time, being desperate and my health really feeling bad, I was willing on doing anything, so I left the meats alone. And at that time, I didn't realize it, but that was the motivation to lead me into the pranic journey by leaving those heavier foods alone. So not only I left the meats alone, I began to also put an exercise routine in my lifestyle. And then I began to learn more about holistic foods, being more vegan, learn more about live and raw foods. But then it got good. I started learning more about fasting. I started fasting once a week, and it started out for religious purposes. But as time went on, I started to learn about meditation. Now, learning about meditation, that gave me the knowledge to learn about the energy channels within the body. Now, there was a time I didn't know they existed or not, but as I went into the practice and began to focus on those different energy channels, I began to get a boost of energy. It began to better my health, give me more energy, and I didn't know it at the time, but I was already on the pranic journey, because the pranic journey is a holistic health message. So as time went on, I went more into 80% live and raw foods. My meditation, I really stayed with it, and I was so proud of what I did with my health. I got rid of all of that weight. I went from 180 pounds to 160 pounds, and I really felt good about myself. Then one day, a young lady said to me, "There's people who can live without eating." And I said, "What?" So I began to go check that information. Now, 19 years ago, because I've been on this path 19 years, they really didn't have that much information like today. But anyway, I did the best I can. I tried to find the most information I can. And what I found that there was a 21-day process at the time that was in circulation. However, I didn't have enough money to take 21 days off of work. I just got married, just bought a house. So what gave me my confidence that I could pull this off, since I didn't have enough money to go out of the country for 21 days, is that the improvements I've already made on my health. I was already living a life of 80% live and raw. I was already in the fasting once a week. I was already meditating constantly, and I was already exercising. So I seen all of these health improvements. Now again, I didn't notice it was the pranic journey already. That's why I teach people on this type of level. First, you got to learn how to eat. First, you got to put exercise into your life, fasting and so forth, and meditation, because that's the foundation of living on prana. So anyway, when I found out about it, and I started to study as much as I can, I went into food freedom. Now, what I learned was the physical body was easy to get into a food-free state. But the problem was the accumulated habits that I've done throughout the years of eating. And food is all around you. And my son just did a real good research on food and its association with drug addiction. Your body does give off reward centers of oxytocin, dopamine. And when you're dealing with foods that you love and you've created this habit, this is what the human being is up against. So anyway, I went on to the pranic levels, and there's many different levels and degrees. So I learned how to eat once a day. I learned how to eat every 3 days. So I understood that as I kept learning more and more and more about being on this path, because keep in mind, you cannot really tell an experience. You have to go through the experience to learn about it. So as I was going through this experience, this is what makes me such a good, credible teacher today, is because I took myself to engage this experience. So being with my son as he was growing up, I decided to eat once every other weekend to maintain our relationship, because that's my son that I've created. But also, I've already broke the rules of what they said that was normal on how you should eat and how much calories you need and so forth. Now, a lot of people mistake this for binge eating, but this is not binge eating at all. Because keep in mind, I said meditation is the foundation, and I've been meditating for years. In other words, I've been meditating so much that actually living on prana is a walking meditation. I'm meditating right now. I'm meditating every day. Because the more you can hold the light into your body, hold that frequency, that vibration, you don't need to keep jumping back to physical foods. So that's the person's problem. You got to get used to this new vibration. So anyway, as I've been on this path, I've gotten stronger and stronger to where as my son got grown, I didn't need to eat every other weekend right now. So right now, I don't eat no food at all, and I don't do liquids also, because that's just another frequency or vibration. And the reason being is because this experience that I'm having is an exploration of consciousness. I already know what it feels like to eat. You understand? So therefore, to explore this consciousness, most people just look at it as being in their head. But your consciousness is your physical body. I am what I think. So therefore, I have robust health. Health is the thing that you know that you have accumulated more prana. There is no in between. And then your external environment. This is my imagination that I'm living in. So when I tell people that I'm living a life, living in heaven, I'm living a life with no problems, there's no blockages, because I've let the lower vibration of light alone. That's what food is. It's a lower vibration of light. But there's what you call UV light. UV means ultraviolet. Ultra means above or beyond the visible light. So I'm being sustained by those invisible forces that's in the air, that's in the solar power. You understand that the eyes cannot see, but by opening up your energy channel, your body is already connected with it. So again, I have taken my mission to go around the world to educate people, not only that this exists, but also to be an example, but also show them and take them into the practices to open up their energy channels in their body. Everybody has them. You are an energy being, and that's all you work with. And the more you can get the understanding to work with yourself, you will grow and get stronger energetically. You will grow health-wise. Your sleep will decrease. You will have a happier and healthier life. And right now, this is needed for humanity. So again, I do take myself as an example, and there's other pranic beings that's coming out more and more. And you don't need to go to information about people who's already dead. Today, you have the most information that's ever been out there on a human being to make this transition to work more with the light. Even medical science is backing this up. They're showing you medical benefits of the sun, medical benefits of breathing, medical benefits of exercising, medical benefits of fasting. You put all of this together, you will grow energetically into this new paradigm shift. And you can eat very little or none at all, because we're energy beings by our nature. Now, I hope I told a lot. And like again, being on this path is the best life I ever lived. Some people say, do I get the temptation to eat food? No, I don't. Because you developed within yourself a feeling state and a desire to live in a light, to live with the subtle energy vibrations. You don't like the way that the lower vibration makes you feel anymore. You outgrow it just like a kid outgrowing a toy. So therefore, people who still struggling in and out, that's okay. If you stay consistent, there'll be a period of time when you will rotate and start enjoying a higher frequency vibration. And I hope everybody will stay consistent and stay on these levels. And even if you choose to still eat, learn how to eat, learn how to keep your quantities small, and keep health first. Because food freedom is a byproduct of perfect health. And right now, I'm in perfect health. Now, please like and subscribe to this channel. We have great things for this channel. And when you stay here, you
Powerful message right there. I appreciate that. That was a whole lot of info right there. Man, that was a lot of info right there. Y'all definitely need to check that out. His channel is Wake Up and Shine. Elatom El Amin. Y'all check him out. We're going to go into the next subject. All right. The captions on. Turn the captions off.
We've got another week or so of mostly quiet weather to enjoy here in the U.S. But around Thanksgiving, things are going to change dramatically. Countless disturbances in the jet stream are on the way, and they will cause a huge weather pattern shift that will bring severe weather and snow. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how that's going to affect you. Starting off with the short-term forecast, which once again is mostly quiet. This weekend looks to feature seasonal temperatures and just a little bit of rain down here in the southeast, and maybe some snow up in the higher elevations of the Pacific Northwest. But as we go into next week, the calm before the storm gets a little bit more obvious as something like a fall heat wave starts to develop across the Rockies and the northern plains. On Tuesday, it's going to be way up into the upper 60s and 70s from Texas all the way up through Canada. And this warmth is at least going to spread across a little bit more than half of the U.S. as we head towards the middle and latter part of next week. But of course, not everyone can have fun in the sun. For example, several little bursts of cooler air will be pushing their way through the northeastern parts of the country, keeping the temperatures down a bit. In fact, for the majority of the next 2 weeks, much of New England will struggle to get out of the 20s and the 30s. And then right at the beginning of the week of Thanksgiving, we're going to see one final push of warm air into the eastern part of the country. As you can see, a huge area of cold air is going to be building in the west, ready to push all that warmth out of the way. And this will be the start of what will become our very active pattern. But why is this happening? What exactly is changing? You see, for the past week or so, and for the next little bit, the jet stream has been and will continue to move pretty much in a straight line from west to east across the majority of the country. This is what we call zonal flow. This zonal flow pushes any and all energy that could fuel storms out to sea very quickly before anything can happen. There's no sharp dips or ridges in the jet stream that allows for the mixing that needs to happen for a big storm to form. But watch what happens as we go towards the end of next week. There's a kink in the jet stream. These kinks are little dips in the jet stream form because the atmosphere really wants to balance temperatures around the globe from the equator to the poles. And it actually slows down the flow enough to where all this energy has time to compile and organize into a storm. So they deliver cold air from the north and lift up as much warm air as possible from the south. This particular trough is going to bring about some unsettled weather for the East Coast, which we will talk about here in a moment. But look, an even bigger one is coming in right after that. This dip in the jet stream or trough is going to allow an extreme amount of cold air to sink in behind it and much warmer air to pull up in front of it. You've got 30 to 40 degrees below average temperatures in the northwest and a giant area of 30 degree above average temperatures in the central U.S. This is a crazy huge temperature gradient, and of course, where those air masses meet, a fight will ensue in the atmosphere that will lead to low pressure systems forming. This will be a catalyst for some potentially very strong storms to tear across the country. And unfortunately, this is all going to start right around the busiest travel season of the year, Thanksgiving week. And these are the kinds of storms that could potentially cause travel delays and poor road conditions. So myself and everybody else in the weather community is going to be watching this like a hawk as we go forward. And speaking of Thanksgiving, you know what I'm thankful for? Today's sponsor, Electric E-Bikes. They are having a huge Black Friday sale right now through the end of November. Myself and the whole team here at the Weather House has been obsessed with these things.
Okay, that's nice.
It's really hard to do.
Nice to hear about your bikes.
Still build endurance. Great Christmas gift. E-bikes, everything. There's something for everyone. Just click that link, get back into the video. So we know that around Thanksgiving, things are going to start getting wild out there. We also know that this will be caused by a series of disturbances or troughs in the jet stream. So let's take a look at what we know about each of these right now. Remember, this is a preliminary forecast. We're looking way out into the future here. Things are going to change. The first disturbance shows up between Thursday and Friday, November 17th through the 18th. If this one happens the way it's modeled, expect storms in the southeastern U.S. as early as Thursday and gusty winds with rain all across the eastern seaboard as we go through Friday. Some of that rain might be heavy and those winds are going to get really strong the closer you get to the ocean, especially in New England. In fact, there's a full-blown tropical system out here near the Bahamas, which may actually get absorbed into the storm, causing even greater impacts. That's right, it hasn't even formed yet, but later this week, a disturbance is going to get much stronger down here in the Caribbean. It's going to cross Cuba and it's going to pick up a bunch of strength and become a potential tropical storm or hurricane. Even the National Hurricane Center has their eye on this, as you can see here with their latest 7-day outlook. Now, not to worry, our big trough up north will keep it away from the states, but this thing is going to chuck a whole bunch of moisture into our East Coast system that would not be there without it. This is something I would really watch closely if I was a resident in the mid-Atlantic regions or the northeastern part of the U.S. And just a few days after that, the second and much more powerful trough is going to be delivering snow and high winds to parts of the Pacific Northwest. A wall of cold air is going to be sinking down into the states from Canada, all the while some of the warmest temperatures of the fall will be creeping up from the south. But as of right now, it does not look like this trough is just going to sweep through the U.S. and deliver the cold air to everyone. In fact, it looks like it's going to stall for a little while, creating the perfect highway for storms to follow. This will once again be the main thing that kicks off our very active weather pattern. With this kind of setup, we really have to watch out for severe weather in the south and snow and maybe even ice up north. And it's not just going to happen once. There will be multiple storms that follow this path. The overarching theme here is that a train of systems will be moving in around Thanksgiving, and each one looks stronger than the one that preceded it. So I really think it's time to start considering the fact that several widespread, impactful storms will be ongoing from the time people are traveling to their destinations before Thanksgiving, during Thanksgiving, and especially after Thanksgiving, because I really don't think this activity is going to be slowing down anytime soon. Have you heard the phrase, what goes up must come down? Well, that's especially true in the world of weather. After an extended period of quiet weather across the U.S., it's only natural to expect an increased period of not so pleasant weather. And remember, of course, as these storms come in, snow is going to be the big story. We're all excited or very upset about the snow, I know. But severe weather is something that we should not disregard just because we're heading towards winter. We are entering what I call fall tornado season, which is a very real thing. And it's very important that you should still be prepared and understand what you're going to do when that tornado warning comes through, even in the fall and winter months. In fact, during November, if you are in any of the red shaded areas, it's not out of the question at all for you to see a tornado based on climatological averages. Even in December, a large area of the U.S. sees increased tornadic activity. And I know if you're not new here, we've talked about this before. I just want to make sure I drive that point home as hard as I can. Don't be scared, be prepared. Keep an eye on the weather, have your tornado action plan in place, and of course, subscribe to this channel because I have made it my full-time job to keep you updated on what's going on.
It's crazy, right? The weather is just super unpredictable. It used to be unpredictable, now it's super unpredictable. It's just winds and winds of hot air, then cold air, hot air, then cold air, hot air, then cold air. Like I said, that polar shift is happening. That northern pole is going to the south and south is going up north. So it's just going to be a lot of switching in temperatures, just flying all around the place. That polar vortex is just spinning out of control. So it's really no telling what to expect. Then you got the El Nino coming off on the Pacific side, and the Atlantic side, you got hot temperatures coming too. It's going to be real interesting. All I can say is make sure you got some backup plans. You know what I mean? Have some fire starter kits. You might need to shoot. You never know that your air or whatever, your heat might go out or something. The electricity might go out. You might need to Start a little fire up in your apartment to stay warm. You never know. It's crazy. Let's see. The next one I got is
and so ruthless
the Egyptian.
that they wipe out the entire megafauna of, for example, North America.
The body is long, it's tall, and the head is quite out of proportion.
A trained sociologist, British writer Graham Hancock has worked as a journalist for many years. However, what he has become more popular for are his controversial scientific theories, which many regard as conspiracy theories. From pseudoscientific theories that explore ancient civilizations to extraterrestrial interactions with ancient humans, Hancock has proposed unconventional theories that go against mainstream historical accounts. What is so special about these theories that mainstream scientists have labeled them as not factual? What will these theories tell us about historic civilizations? Join us in this video as we explore the 10 craziest conspiracy theories by Graham Hancock.
Yeah, crazy.
10. The Hall of Records of Ancient Egypt. One of Hancock's most popular works is his theory on the Hall of Records, believed to have been a library in ancient Egypt. However, this Hall of Records was unlike today's usual library. It is a mythical ancient library, believed to hold the knowledge of a lost civilization. This library is a knowledge repository containing thousands of prehistorical texts that serve the nobles of ancient Egypt. Hancock postulates not only a theory about the existence of this library, but also its location. He believes that the mythical library is located in the Sphinx statue on the plains of Giza. The exact location of the library is unknown. Nevertheless,
So hold up, what? In Giza? Okay.
Hancock opines that the library is in a hidden secret chamber inside the Sphinx monument. We wouldn't have discussed the ancient Hall of Records today without Edgar Cayce. It was Cayce who suggested the existence of the mythical library. He wrote that the Hall of Records holds the lost civilization of Atlantis, stored on tablets or scrolls, which documents their knowledge of technology, history, and spiritual practices. Hancock is resolute in his hypothesis that the Hall of Records is hidden in a yet-to-be-discovered chamber in the Sphinx. He based his argument on the seismic surveys in the area that point to underground cavities near the Sphinx. Furthermore, he doesn't hesitate to reference the local folklore that hints at underground chambers, rooms, and passageways around the Sphinx. Hancock's theory gets more interesting when he answers the big question of, who constructed the ancient library? According to Hancock, the Hall of Records was
Who you think constructed the ancient library? Definitely wasn't you or none of your people.
built by the survivors of the lost city of Atlantis, who wasted no time in recording the history of the long-lost civilization. 9. Supernatural entities in prehistoric art. Another Hancock's theory that has garnered attention is his research on prehistoric art that suggests supernatural entities. He explores this theory in his book, Supernatural Meetings with the Ancient Teachers of Mankind. In the book, he examines the world of cave paintings and questions the existence of the beings represented in the ancient artworks. Hancock focuses on studying therianthropes, a human and animal hybrid being prevalent in prehistoric arts. These beings are often linked with shamanic traditions, where spiritual intermediaries enter an altered state of consciousness and interact with the spirit world. Hancock argues that the therianthropes' depictions in ancient artworks are not a coincidence or simply artistic creations. Instead, they are representations of extraterrestrial interactions with humans. He further points out hallucinogenic plants among different cultures whose consumption could have triggered psychoactive effects on the ancient people. He believes that extraterrestrial entities interacted with humans when using these psychoactive plants because they were in an altered state of consciousness.
Them psychoactive plants is not so psychoactive as you think of. Crazy psychoactive as in it makes your psychic more active in different types of realms of energy. So that plant absorbs light, ultraviolet light, so it's tapped into more than just one realm of energy. That's what you would call 3D realm. They attach to every form of energy. So these people take these plants and herbs over in their country, and you saying, yeah, they on that psycho stuff is making them crazy. No, that psycho plant is making them tap in to be able to see and witness everything possible that's existing. So it's more than just making them think they just seeing things. No, they're not just seeing things. They're seeing the things that you need to be seeing, but you can't.
8. The global cataclysm. A comet hit Earth about 12,800 years ago, leading to a global catastrophic event. As typical of Hancock, he delves into this event, and it is documented in his book, Magicians of the Gods. Hancock opines that the comet strike led to a cataclysmic event that destroyed advanced civilizations at the time and drastically changed the Earth's climate. This theory is in sync with the Younger Deus boundary, YDB, impact hypothesis that suggests that a historical cooling event known as the Younger Deus was due to the impact of a comet or meteor. From Hancock, we learn that this period experienced a rapid return to glacial conditions in the northern hemisphere after the last ice age had ended. The event led to a massive disruption in plants, animals, and human societies. But he doesn't stop here. Advancing the hypothesis further, he describes a catastrophic event where a striking comet hit the Earth, destroying an advanced prehistoric civilization. As you can already guess, this is likely the same one linked to his theories on Antarctica, Atlantis, and the Sphinx. According to Hancock, the remnants of this lost civilization can be found in various ancient sites worldwide, such as Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. This site dates back to 9600 BC, which coincides with the end of the Younger Days, and is characterized by advanced stone architecture and complex carvings. Hancock also points out that this evidence of knowledge transferred down civilizations. Some part of this theory is based on myths and tales of massive floods across the world. He believes that these flood memories might be a collection of catastrophic events that led to the demise of an ancient civilization. 7. The lost civilization of Antarctica. Hancock has extended the tentacles of his research to one of the coldest regions on our planet, Antarctica. He proposed a theory on what happened to this frozen continent. He believes that underneath the ice layers of Antarctica lies the remnant of a long-lost civilization. He explains this theory so elaborately in his book, Fingerprints of the Gods. According to Hancock, there is a strong possibility that Antarctica is the site of the mythical Atlantis city.
Your boy Hancock been reading some stuff, haven't he? You know, went over into the ancient lands of our people, and that, you know, his people done went over and conquered. He done went over there and started finding some stuff. Now he got all types of beliefs and inquiries and all this. He got all types of ways that he figured something out. Huh? You know, stuck his nose over there. Now he like, oh yeah, I believe that it's something. No, you read it on something that wasn't even supposed to be for you to be reading, but it's cool. Okay, you read it. Yeah, you just believe in it, right?
Theory is based on the idea of Earth's crustal displacement, a geological theory that suggests that the Earth's crust can move over liquid layers beneath. Thus, it can successfully shift the geographical locations of continents. He believes that a historical event occurred 12,000 years ago that shifted the temperate continent of Antarctica to its current polar location. This led to its sudden freezing and encasement in blocks of ice. As expected, this theory didn't sit well with mainstream archaeologists and historians. However, Hancock quickly backs up his claim by interpreting the Peary race map, which depicts Antarctica's coastline without ice. He argues that a previous civilization had passed this knowledge down before Atlantis was covered in ice. To everyone who cares to listen, Hancock often describes an advanced ancient civilization on our Earth several millennials ago, which became extinct after being submerged underwater. This theory draws support from mythical tales about a long-lost city passed down across civilizations, and they are still told today. Furthermore, he believes that the survivors of this ancient Atlantis city likely influenced other civilizations such as Egypt, the Americas, and Sumers. He believes that the sophistication of the ancient monuments worldwide is proof of the astronomical development of the lost city of Atlantis before it became known as Antarctica. 6. The mystery of the pyramids of Egypt. Graham Hancock got called out again when he postulated an unconventional theory about the pyramids of Egypt, especially the Great Pyramid of Giza. Contrary to the widely accepted theories of historians and Egyptologists, Hancock believes that the pyramids are much older than we believe. According to Hancock, we shouldn't credit the construction of the pyramids, especially the Great Pyramid of Giza, to the ancient Egyptians of the 4th dynasty. He believes that there is no way the Egyptians could have built the pyramids around 2600 BC. You would agree that this is a provoking opinion. When Hancock first postulated his theory, the question on everyone's mind was, where is the evidence to back his claim? In response, he argues that the ancient Egyptians couldn't have achieved the top-notch precision and astronomical alignments of the pyramids. He believes the Egyptians didn't have the technological advancement to construct such architectural masterpieces. From his point of view, the design, construction, and geological alignment of the pyramids are proof that a much more advanced civilization made them. In Hancock's view, this civilization existed thousands of years before the ancient Egyptians, and they left behind the pyramids, which the Egyptians inherited and received credit for. Have you begun to doubt your history lessons? Wait, Hancock isn't done yet, as he comes with another dicey piece of evidence. The geographical location of the pyramids has cosmological significance because the monuments are located at the exact position of Earth's land masses. Do you consider this a coincidence? Hancock doesn't. He believes there is a correlation between the location of the pyramids and those who built them. Furthermore, he brings to light that the pyramids' measurements correlate with astronomical constants, such as the speed of light. We might have to agree with Hancock on this one because this is a mystery that we cannot explain. In addition,
look at that, all our people getting together to construct this pyramid. They can't even believe they did it. They like, man, they couldn't have did that. Yeah, that's something serious when we get all together, huh? It's something serious when we get all on one accord and we ain't busy fighting each other and arguing over the person or trying to be the best of this person and that person. We trying to outshine each other. When we finally all just work together, we can do some amazing things that can make somebody's head spin. Just like they took black people to Tuskegee War and they was able to shoot down airplanes and helicopters with some rifles and handguns. They didn't expect that to happen. They like, oh, they doing it. Yeah, it's amazing when we get together. We could do some things, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Hancock is against the notion that the pyramids were merely tombs for pharaohs. He believes that the monuments had more purpose than we know of, but it is possible that they served a spiritual or metaphysical function. 5. The Lost City of Atlantis. The Lost City of Atlantis is a tale that has been told for centuries. It started with Plato, who spoke about a lost civilization that existed 9,000 years before his time. This mysterious city has also grabbed Hancock's attention, and he has devoted his time researching the city through the lens of ancient philosophers and based on his interpretation of archaeological evidence. Ultimately, he developed a theory that has stirred up debates in recent years. As usual, Hancock postulates an unconventional theory about the existence, location, and demise of this long-lost civilization. Although many scientists considered Plato's description of Atlantis an allegory, Hancock is towing the opposite direction. He believes that Plato's description of the mythical Atlantis civilization is a factual report of a prehistoric advanced civilization. This theory is better explained in his book, Fingerprints of the Gods, where he suggests that the city of Atlantis was located in present-day Antarctica. He believes that the icy continent was once a temperate land before a cataclysmic event, most likely a shift in the Earth's crust that caused it to move from its polar position, resulting in freezing and disappearance between layers of life. Thus, this was how Atlantis was lost to history. One of the pieces of evidence that this theory rests on is the Peary Race Map, a 16th century map of the world that appears to show the northern part of Antarctica, which was relatively unknown till modern seismic surveys. Hancock doesn't stop here. He has connected the story of Atlantis with various cultures worldwide. According to Hancock, there were survivors from that catastrophe, and these persons dispersed to different areas of the world to start a new life. As expected, these survivors took with them advanced knowledge, which they infused into the architecture and meteorology of ancient civilizations such as the Egyptians, Mayans, and Sumerians. Hancock argues that the sudden rise of some ancient civilizations is proof that they had incorporated advanced knowledge into their culture, which can be traced back to the survivors of Atlantis. Hancock's theory is still not accepted in academic circles, as it has been subject to several controversies and debates. Nevertheless, this theory is stealthily rewriting some historical accounts and has forced many to question the traditional narrative of chronological human history. 4. Ancient Civilizations and Extraterrestrials. Having spent years investigating ancient civilizations, Hancock decided to extend his research to potential extraterrestrial influences on Earth. For a long time, scientists and philosophers have toyed with the idea of extraterrestrial life existing somewhere.
I ain't gonna lie though. Out of all these drawings I see, right? Like, I don't see none of them being, not to be funny, I don't see no white people carved on nothing. Like nothing. All the stuff that's ancient carvings of pictures of people and mysterious beings, they was all looking like brothers and sisters out there. They wasn't looking like none of them was out there. So it's funny how every time they show a Atlantis or something like that, they show a white man that with the long hair and a long beard with a wand in his hand. Every time they show it, but when you go look at the carvings, the actual carvings, I don't see y'all on there. That's a little interesting. Why as soon as it comes to a picture that y'all want to make of it, is y'all at the front of the face of it, like the Atlantises and stuff like that. But as soon as you go look at the ancient carvings on walls and caves and all that, it's none of y'all on it. I ain't seen not one. Maybe they didn't have white color pencils back then. I don't know. Maybe they used the white rocks. They only had brown rocks around. I don't know.
In the universe that we don't know of. Hancock seems to have also towed this path. However, he is not outrightly ascertaining the existence of these extraterrestrial beings. Instead, he has asked some interesting questions about ancient knowledge and technologies. And if we are to read the handwriting on the wall correctly, he is suggesting that there is more to what conventional history has taught us. Hancock is taking us back to re-examine the technological leap of ancient civilizations like the Egyptians and Mayans, and this exploration questions the knowledge advancement of these ancient cities. According to Hancock, there is no linear explanation for the technological advancement experienced in some of these ancient civilizations. What fascinates Hancock is the sudden appearance of architectural and astronomical developments in those societies, such as the precise construction of the Egyptian pyramids and the sophisticated observatories of the Mayans. He argues that these developments and knowledge seem out of place in these eras, meaning they received help from somewhere. He explores this question.
If you think about it, right? They say a whole bunch of times the Earth got hit by a comet, or we had some type of interaction with some type of asteroid that hit and did some devastation on the land and made ice and all this, right? And floods all around the world, right? So you think about it. Sorry, my cat want to sharpen her claws while I'm talking. But if you think about it, right? You got people that's moving at a super advanced level doing things that you would think extraterrestrial was here on the planet, right? Think about it. If people are on here doing some amazing things like that and they get hit by something cataclysmic that wipes out their whole existence, wipes out everything that they build, a bunch of stuff is getting buried and flooded out and stuff like that, right? Don't you think that the new civilization that still exists and still made it through that devastation will have some type of setback? Like, she is really going crazy. I don't know what she's doing. That's my cat. She just be tripping. But don't you think they would have some type of devastation, though? Don't you think they would have some type of setback to where their natural way that they was going through evolution, they was doing miraculous things? Don't you think it would have some type of setback? They would start from square one. Their people will be lessened and things of that nature. Don't you think they would have some type of setback? I'm sure they won't be all on the same top of chord, right? Right.
And further in his book, Supernatural Meetings with the Ancient Teachers of Mankind, where he suggests that the rapid advancement of ancient civilizations could be due to contact with otherworldly beings. Now you probably think this is starting to sound like a fairy tale, but Hancock believes there might be some truth in it. He explains this theory further by saying that this out-of-the-world contact may have occurred through altered states of mind, possibly induced by the consumption of psychoactive plants. He cites the prevalence of similar motifs in the ancient arts across different cultures, such as therianthropes, which are part human, part animals, as evidence of these encounters. He believes these motifs are not mere coincidences, but likely documentation of encounters with supernatural beings such as gods, spirits, and extraterrestrial beings. Number 3. The Ark of the Covenant's Hidden Secrets. Hancock's inquisitiveness has not spared biblical accounts, as he has shifted his research lens to uncover some hidden secrets that died with history. One such account is the Ark of the Covenant, recorded in the Bible. This research is documented in his book, The Sign and the Seal. The Ark of the Covenant is a gold-plated ancient artifact that housed the 2 stone tablets of the 10 Commandments. Based on biblical narration, the Ark of the Covenant was lost when the Babylonians invaded Jerusalem and the Jews' Holy Temple in 587 BC. But Hancock has a different opinion on what happened to the Ark of the Covenant. He believes that this ancient Jewish artifact wasn't lost, as many assume. Instead, the Ark of the Covenant was taken from the Holy Temple built by Solomon and brought to Ethiopia for safekeeping before the Babylonians invaded Jerusalem. If this theory is true, the ancient Jews made a genius move to preserve their artifact. Hancock came about this theory after studying several historical and religious texts and cultural stories, especially from Ethiopia's Christian tradition. In a surprising revelation, Hancock says that the Ark of the Covenant has been preserved over several centuries and is housed in a chapel in the small town of Axum in northern Ethiopia. The Ark is believed to be guarded by a monk who isn't allowed to leave the chapel's grounds, and he is the only one permitted to see the Ark of the Covenant. So, as it stands, Hancock's claims cannot be proved because no one else can see the Ark of the Covenant. Nevertheless, local devotees strongly believe in the Ark's presence inside the chapel. Ordinarily, we would think the story ends here, but it doesn't. Hancock further postulates that there is more to the Ark than we know. He suggests that the Ark of the Covenant was an ancient technological device that could have been an electrical capacitor capable of storing an electrical charge. This theory is based on the Ark's design as described in the Bible, which resembles that of a capacitor. Suppose this theory is true, it would mean that the Ark was a technological device. In essence, this would mean that the ancient Jews were an advanced civilization, rewriting all of the historical beliefs we have about them. Number 2. Sacred geometry theory. Hancock also sparked debates with his sacred geometry theory. Sacred geometry is based on the belief that certain geometrical shapes and patterns possess sacred or spiritual significance. Hancock proposes that these civilizations had an understanding of sacred geometry and utilized it to their benefit. His evidence resides in the architectural designs and artworks whose remains can be found in certain historical sites worldwide. Furthermore, he believes that this knowledge had a significant impact on human consciousness and spiritual development. Hancock's theory is founded on the hypothesis that specific shapes and patterns align with the fundamental energies of the cosmos. The ancient civilizations integrated these forms into their structures to align themselves with these cosmic energies. Thus, they could deepen their spiritual development by altering consciousness and facilitating spiritual experiences. Examples of these structures are the pyramids of Giza, the Temple of Luxor in Egypt, and Stonehenge of England. Hancock believes that the precise alignment, proportions, and geometric patterns in these ancient structures are proof of an understanding of sacred geometry. This means that many prehistoric and ancient civilizations are more advanced than we give them credit for. Like his other theories, sacred geometry and its correlation with ancient civilization challenge mainstream historical accounts. Lastly, Hancock expressly links this hypothesis with his theory on a prehistoric lost civilization and how the knowledge of sacred geometry was passed down through civilizations. 1. The Sphinx and the Age of Leo. The Sphinx is one of the significant monuments that serve as a testament to the superior architectural capabilities of ancient
What you doing
Egypt.
over there?
This monument hasn't escaped Graham Hancock's research and diverging theories. Hancock has spent time studying this giant statue on the plains of Egypt. Working together with Robert Bauval, Hancock puts forward a controversial theory about the age and purpose of the Sphinx. This theory goes against traditional Egyptology. Many academic articles credit the construction of the Sphinx to the ancient Egyptians, sometime in 2500 BC. However, Hancock's theory challenges this widely accepted notion, arguing that the Sphinx is much older. He believes that the monument was built during the age of Leo, which is approximately 12,500 years ago. You would agree that this is a very long time. He establishes this theory based on the precession cycle of the Earth, which results in the precession of the equinoxes. This is a cycle of about 26,000 years, where different constellations appeared to rise just before the sun on the spring of equinox. Hancock comes up with the unconventional argument that the Sphinx was designed and constructed to gaze at the constellation of Leo in the pre-dawn sky of the spring equinox, which marks the age of Leo. Since the last age of Leo occurred about 12,500 years ago, Hancock believes that Egyptologists are wrong in their prediction of the Sphinx's age. Another supporting beam of this theory is geographical evidence, where Hancock examines the severe erosion on the body of the Sphinx. He argues that the erosion is due to thousands of years of rainfall. Over time, many have tilted towards Hancock's theory, given that the last period of significant rainfall in the region occurred around the end of the Ice Age, about 10,000 to 12,000 years ago. Nevertheless, the age of Leo is not accepted by mainstream archaeologists and Egyptologists. They argue against Hancock's theory based on the premise that there is no scientific evidence that speaks about the age of Leo. Yet, Hancock's work has surprisingly led to deeper evaluation of historical facts as more people begin exploring past civilizations. Despite the stiff opposition that Graham Hancock's theories continue to attract from mainstream archaeologists, scientists, and Egyptologists, they have gained acceptance from many people. More interesting is that many people are beginning to question.
The funny thing about these people when they search and find stuff is, being the people that they are, when they look at things that we might look at and just have an understanding for, they'll denounce that understanding. Like say if they see a person, like say if they see an indigenous person carved into a wall, moving a 2,000 ton rock with his mind, right? He's just sitting there moving it, putting it into a place to build a structure. They'll see that picture and they'll just be like, nah, that can't be possible. I got to keep doing more research into that. That he can't do that. You know what I mean? It's got to be something else. Like they're quick to denounce something that doesn't make sense to their way of evolution. You know what I mean? They're kind of like you know how adults talk to kids and they'll be like, you don't know anything, blah, 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 right? And everything the kid says, they just denounce it because they feel like the kid hasn't reached a level of understanding to be able to tell them anything, right? And the kid, on the other hand, feels the same way. They'll feel like, oh, nah, you know, them older people, they don't know nothing that, you know what I'm talking about, because I have a whole different understanding. But everybody's understanding is at different times of evolution. So no one has the full understanding because you can't live both in the elder evolution and in the youthful evolution. You only can live in one or the other. So nobody has that full connection range to where they can understand each other. So these people, they'll look at from their point of view of evolution and they'll look at something like that and they'll be like, nah, it can't be this. Yeah, it can't be that for you and your evolution, but you don't know about these people's evolution. These people's evolution was way before your time. And the earth was in a way better standing back then. These people had way more abilities, way more resources, way more reserves. They wasn't stressed out. You know what I mean? So for you to sit there and denounce that, you can't. You feel me? But yeah, that's the end of the playlist right there, man. I was over here for a little minute, huh? I was just straight Sunblood. Everything was dealing with the sun and people around the sun. Hold on. But yeah, man, we finally got done. We went through it. So I'm gonna end it with this song right here, you know, just give a peace out, man. You know, I gotta do my little thing, you know, I gotta do what I gotta do. Hold on.
Hey, luxury.
Man, that was cool.
Let me get in my bag with this one. I swear them people heartless. A lot of people out here starving. It's the famine
It's
in
the
the
famine in the street.
They don't want us to be prosperous. I see them UV steady popping. Get them CMEs, yeah. Get them CMEs, yeah. Get them CMEs. See them UV steady popping. Get them CMEs, yeah. Get them CMEs, yeah. was lost as a kid, trying to go slide through the trench. I tried to talk about knowledge, but they ain't one thing big. I tried to tell them we control, but they say it's all in my head. I know it's all in our head, cause all our bodies ain't dead. I seen kids getting lost, thinking that they trying to win. My little brother buried, but berries give me oxygen. I took all my power and tried to raise us up again. I can't help how I feel when I'm inside ideas, yeah. It's a lot of things you gotta study. It's a lot of things inside your cells that you can't cut it. And once you see the uncanny energy, you abundant. And once you hear your spirit, you raising up past a dozen. Ooh, I'm cooking like
an oven.
Yeah. Carbon sitting in the air, made it harder than to breathe. Carbon sitting in the air, made it heat up in the street. Carbon sitting in the air, made the waves in the sea. I see them UV steady pop.
Gotta get them CMEs, man. I just showed you all the facts right there. I just showed you all the facts right there for sunbathing, man. There's a whole bunch of benefits right there. You got to get them CMEs, my people. You got to. It's the only way you can keep alive, keep going to your next step. Sitting in the house all day ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna even be safe because you ain't safe if you not healthy. You know what I mean? So you got to go outside and get it. I know it's a lot going on out there. You know, it's a lot of issues, a lot of problems, but you got to get it. You know what I'm saying? You got to go out there. Best thing to do is try to fix the problems, if anything. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight, man. This was a good one, man. I like that. I especially like that breatharian video. That man was dropping a lot of gems. You know, I know it's hard to switch over, you know what I'm saying? Just switch over to a breatharian. It's like it take a lot of focus. Like that's a lot of focus, you know what I'm saying? A lot of discipline. You know, you starting off, you eat, you know what I'm saying, every day, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, most people eat 3 times a day, some 2, but you know, to go from that lifestyle over to eating nothing, you just, you know, that's breakfast, you know what I'm saying? You go outside, get that sunlight, that's lunch, you know what I mean? Go to sleep, that's dinner, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to go to, you know what I'm saying? But I believe it's possible. You know, I definitely believe it's possible. It just takes a lot of training, a lot of focus, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was a good video. I like that video. You know what I'm saying? He kind of gave me a little motivation because I do like partial fasting. Like I don't eat at nighttime, like 2 days out the week. I just won't eat dinner because it's like when you drink your fruits, you know what I'm saying? Because I juice fruit for the whole week. You know what I'm saying? I take my Sundays. I don't do nothing but juice fruit, cut them up. You can ask all my friends, everybody. They'd be like, man, don't call him because you know what he's going to be doing. He's going to be cutting and juicing fruits. Yes, that's all I do on my Sunday. My Sunday doesn't go to nothing but juicing fruits, cutting and juicing fruit. So don't try to bring me nowhere. But yeah, I do that, get it ready for the whole week, right? So throughout the day, I'll like drink my fruit juice and I probably eat like a salad or sometimes I might eat like a peanut butter jelly sandwich or something like that. And yeah, I do that through the daytime. So at nighttime, when it's come to eat dinner and stuff like that, I don't really get hungry. You know what I'm saying? I come home, I don't have an appetite to eat nothing. I have an appetite to drink something, or what you would call thirst. I have that. That's about it. So, you know, if I go and like say my stomach growling right when I get home, right? I get off probably like 6 o'clock, my stomach growling, you know what I'm saying? I still come home. I'll do my workout, you know what I'm saying? Because I work like 10 hours a day, still come home, bust a little workout out, you know what I'm saying? I got to do a little workout, just straight calisthenics. You know, I do pull-ups, dips, push-ups, you know what I'm saying? And I do that. So after I do that, you know, my stomach probably will have a nice little growl to it, right? I'll go in the kitchen, drink some juice, and it's done. Like I don't have no appetite, no nothing. I'm good for the night. So even when I find it that when I try to still eat something, it's like I feel like I'm forcing it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like I'm eating because I'm hungry. I'm like I'm forcing it. But during the daytime, around like 11 to 12, I get that hunger where it's like my stomach is like, no, I want some food. You know what I'm saying? And I'll handle that. But at nighttime, I don't have no appetite at all. And I'm outside in the sun every day. You know what I'm saying? I never really eat indoors no more. You know what I'm saying? When I go out, I tell people, they look at me crazy because like what I do is I do like a little light workout during before I take my lunch break, right? I do a little light workout, get some little blood flow going in, right? So I go outside to eat in the sun. I go outside, eat and drink in the sun. But when I do that, it helps my blood flow. So when it's cold outside, you know what I'm saying, during like winter season and stuff like that, I still go outside and I'm eating outside. And sometimes I'm in this. I take my coat off. It's freezing cold to them out there, right? Like even the eukaryotic people be looking at me like, man, you eating like that? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. They looking like, man, y'all people don't really like cold like that. What's up with you? But no, I'm out there every day because I'm like mentally in my mind, I'm forcing myself. I'm thinking like, okay, yes, it's this temperature is this outside, but I'm like these animals outside 24/7. You know what I'm saying? These trees and plants and wildlife is outside 24/7 all through the year, and they still living. So why is it that I'm the only living organism on the planet that can't be outside 24/7 and still live in the same suit? You know what I mean? I shouldn't have to put coats and coats on just to go outside. I should be able to just put a little light jacket on if it's windy, you know what I'm saying? But if the sun is out, I shouldn't have to put nothing on. I should just be able to go outside. So I'm kind of like mentally training myself to where I adapt to the weather outside. I don't try to wait, you know, oh, I need AC when it's hot, or I need a coat on when it's cold and some heat. I'm trying to just mentally train myself to where I could just deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like I go out there, like I said, I go out there, like bust a little workout in so my body is naturally heated up. So when I go out there, I don't have to put no coat on. It could be 30 degrees outside. I'm out there eating, drinking my juice. You know, my juice is cold. I keep it in the refrigerator. So I'm drinking cold juice, eat a cold salad. People looking at me crazy. I don't even care. I'm just doing my thing, eating, chilling, get that sunlight for about an hour. Then, of course, I go back in. And then I'll take another break around 4 o'clock, go back outside, you know, get the sunset sunlight, because, you know, the different settings of the sun emits different energy. So I try to get as much of the different types of energy that I can out of it. You know what I'm saying? So I do that, but that's mentally challenging right there itself. You know what I mean? So when I do that, I'm like, dang, imagine a person doing breatharian. Like he pushing his to the next level. Like he's going way harder. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of mental focus. But it all starts with small baby steps. You know what I'm saying? It's all starts with small baby steps, like he said. But the first and foremost thing you got to do, I feel like, is you got to start with the sunlight. You got to get that sun energy in you first. The more sun you absorb, you eat the sunlight will basically transform you into what you need to be doing later on. So it's like you start off in the sunlight, eating sunlight, you know, you can still eat your meals, right? But eventually I feel like when you sit in the sunlight, it'll make you not want to keep doing the same thing. Like it'll eventually make you not want to just sit there and eat 3-4 meals a day and, you know what I'm saying, be all filled up and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was younger, I was like, 17 when I went on a raw vegan diet. I went on raw vegan. It was just straight fruits and vegetables, uncooked, right? And people always ask me, they was like, cause I ain't gonna lie, I was in the streets heavy, you know what I'm saying? I was doing my thing. I was wild, right? I'm from DC. If anybody don't know, I'm from DC. So, you know, that area around the early 2000s and stuff like that, it was bad, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm in the streets doing my thing, right? I go outside so much. I'm outside like 24/7. I come home, drop my stuff off at home, you know what I'm saying? And I go head right back outside. I'm outside all day to the nighttime, right? So people would ask me once I switched over to raw vegan, they like, man, what made you want to go raw vegan? What made you want to go raw vegan? I told them the straight honest truth. I'm like, man, to be honest with you, I sat out in the sun so much and was just sitting out there, like no purpose, just sitting out in the sun. And then finally one day, just sitting in the sunlight, something just clicked and just said, man, you need to give up all that meat and all that other processed food out, and you need to just eat healthy. So I took that message, right? And that's just sitting in the sun. That was just sitting. I was still doing my thing, smoking, you know, eating whatever. I was doing street stuff, you know what I'm saying? I was living like a regular hood, you know what I'm saying, out there. But I took that message, just sitting in the sun, you know, just sitting in the sun, steady, sitting in the sun. Came home and took it upon myself. I said, let me do some research. You know what I'm saying? So I never forget, my first video I pulled up was America's the way America is trying to kill you, right? So I looked that video up and it was showing like from food to lifestyle to products we use, everything is just breaking all this stuff down. You know what I'm saying? And I'm young. I'm like 16, 17. I told you I took this message in it and I'm like, it it took my brain out of comprehension. Like I felt into a depression just from learning this stuff. Like it was weird. It was like I was programmed into another programming. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a bad programming. It was a programming that like stuns your old programming. You know what I'm saying? Like you stuck in this type of mentality and then you learn something so quick and so vast that it just throws your old program off and this new programming is coming to play. And you just kind of just walking around just like, you know what I'm saying? Just looking lost, but you're not really lost. It's just you so stuck in your mind, understanding and processing and breaking down what you just figured out. So I saw that and it just stunned me. It took me over, right? So when that happened, I'm like, dang, I need to start taking my health serious. You know what I'm saying? I need to take everything I'm doing serious, right? I need to stop being out there doing all that extra, you know what I'm saying, all that thug stuff, and I need to just focus on making myself better. So I was going to the gym heavy. I still played basketball, right? Was in the sunlight 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Ate my fruits in the morning and ate a salad at night, right? So what this was connecting me to nature and I wasn't even aware of it. You know what I'm saying? I just got this small part of enlightenment. I just got the enlightenment of taking care of my body and myself. And when that happened, it took me to another world to where I'm like trying to compute it. You know what I'm saying? And when I try to compute it, it's like the more I try to compute, another door open. So one day I'm just sitting in the bed, right? And I was like on raw vegan for maybe like 2-3 months. I'm sitting in the bed watching TV. I just went outside, made a little play, you know what I'm saying? I sold whatever, made some money off that. I come back in, it's like 2-3 in the morning. So I had quote unquote work in the morning, right? So I'm like, man, I'm gonna just stay up. You know what I'm saying? I ain't about to go back to sleep. I'm gonna stay up. So I stayed up till like 10 in the morning. I lie to you not. I'm sitting in the bed, just laying down watching TV. It hit like maybe 8 or 9:30 in the morning. So I stayed up and started seeing the sunrise. I'm up in like the 5th floor in the high rise. So I see the sunrise. So when I see the sunrise, I look at it through my feet, right? All of a sudden, I feel a vibration come through my body. I'm laying down. I feel the vibration coming through my body. So, I used to do a lot. Like when I was young, I used to sleepwalk. I used to do everything when I was younger that made my parents freak out. You know what I'm saying? I even almost got hijacked by a spirit, man. I need to tell y'all about that another live. I almost got stolen by a spirit, like real live. I almost got stolen by a spirit. Like if my mother was right here right now, she would tell you I almost got stolen by a spirit when I was young. I was like 5 years old. A spirit came in the house and tried to take me. But I would go through a lot of things. But this morning blew my mind. I'm sitting down. I'm laying down in the bed, looking at the sun through my feet. And I'm like, dang, the sun look real nice. I ain't never seen the sun this bright, you know what I'm saying, coming up. All of a sudden, I feel the tingle go through my body. I'm like, dang, what's happening? Why are my legs falling asleep, right? So I said, my legs falling asleep. It started in my toes. I said, my legs falling asleep. So, I do what a typical person to do when they feel like their leg falling asleep. They start trying to move it. So I try to move it, but it's not moving. And I'm like, what? My legs not moving. All of a sudden, I'm looking at my feet, right? And my toes start wiggling like this. But I'm not able to move it. It's just doing this. So it starts doing this and it starts rising, right? But it's rising out of my feet. So it's like my foot is like right here, right? My foot is right here. The tingling is like this, but it's coming up like this. I'm still seeing my foot, but my foot is still right here at the same time. So I'm like, man, I'm tripping. I must have smoked something serious, right? So I'm like trying to do this, trying to blink and tap out. But the more that I'm looking at the tingling, it's like going up my body. It's going up from my toes all the way up to my head. And once it hit to right here, I just heard ringing in my head, my ears, right? So I'm like, man, I'm tripping, bro. I know I'm asleep. I must have fell asleep and I must have fell asleep and I'm just need to get up. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I'm gonna wake up, I'm feeling like it's like them regular dreams where in the same room I'm sleeping in, but eventually I'll snap out and just wake up. So I'm like, I'll wake up in a minute. I'm just tripping right now because I stayed up. I lie to you not, the ringing was in my ears. So eventually I started floating up out of my body, and then I stood on the floor. I turned around and looked at myself, and I'm like, and I'm still in the bed, laying down, looking at my toes in the bed, but I'm standing up, looking at myself doing it. It threw me off. My mind was off, and then I got so thrown off and scared that I just popped back in my body and just woke up. It was like the suction happened quick. It was like I took a couple steps forward to the sun. Then I turned back around and looked at myself, and then I got scared. When I got scared, it was like a little, it was like a, you know what I'm saying? Like my body just said, and grabbed me back into it, right? And then I woke up and I was like, what the, you know what I'm saying? So that happened. That was the first thing that threw me off during the raw vegan journey. So that happened. So then after that, it was like every single night, the same thing was happening, but not to the point to where I'm looking at myself, but I was going other places. I was just traveling around, going other places. Like I tell people this to this day, I say, I remember from 16 to now, I remember almost every dream I've had every night. Like I remember it like a day in a life. You know what I'm saying? Like you go back and be like, yeah, yesterday I went to the store and walked up the street. I remember my dreams like that. You know what I'm saying? I could sit here for like probably 4 or 5 hours and just tell you dreams that I had. So that was crazy to me, right? So this happening to me, I was like, man, it's crazy. I'm going on Google trying to search up, you know what I'm saying, mental illnesses with this and that, you know what I'm saying, sleep paralysis, all this. I'm Googling all this stuff. It wasn't really that popping back in the early 2000s. Nobody was talking about it. So I felt like I was crazy. I felt like something was wrong with me. Like, man, is my brain shutting down? What's going on? I don't know what's going on with me. But I'm seeing crazy things, and I'm getting like messages where I'm like coming up to people. I told my mom, right? She was out of work at the time. I went to sleep, had a dream. Some light beings came to me. It was like a group of them. It was like maybe 6 or 7 of them in figures, and they was all standing there looking at me, and I was looking at them in this like dim room. All I saw was their light. I couldn't really see nothing around me, right? So I'm looking at them, and I'm like listening to them, hearing them, but they're not saying nothing. I don't see no mouths moving. I don't see nobody talking to me, but I understand what they're saying to me. And they're like, yeah, your mom's going to get a job and she's going to get paid such and such and such and such. So tell her stop tripping about blah, 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 blah. Right. And I wake up and I have no reason why. I don't even know, because I don't even tell people personal stuff like that. I told you I thought it was crazy, but for some reason, some said, you got to tell her. So she was in the kitchen. I came up to her and I said, yeah, I knew it was crazy. I told her, I was like, yeah, something said that you was going to have a job and you was going to get paid, blah, 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 right? So she was laughing. She was like, yeah, I wish I would. Yeah, that'd be great for me. I love that. Tell me why the next day she got a job and she was getting paid exactly what I said she was going to get paid. When she came home, she said, you must have went in my computer. You must have went in my email or something. I was like, what? I ain't going in your email, you know? But, you know, I'm a teenager, so she probably like, yeah, you went in my email. You went in my computer or something. You must have saw like a job offer or letter or something. I was like, I didn't touch your computer. You know what I'm saying? But that was crazy right there, right? So all this was happening to me at a young age to where I didn't really understand it, to where I was just experiencing all this stuff. And people was like, man, what made you start this? And I'm like, sitting in the sun, like just sitting in the sun made all this happen. And it sounds crazy, but it's understandable when you really do it and you understand what I mean by it. Just sitting in the sun, it will really change your life. It'll start over a whole new process of the way you think. It has to do a detox in the old program in your brain first, which is crazy. That's the hardest part. And if you can make it through that, you're going to keep going. You know what I'm saying? You're going to keep going. You're going to go into the health part. Then you're going to go into the mental issues inside your brain. Then you're going to figure that out, master your mental. Then you'll go into the understanding the outside of the world, understanding people. You know what I mean? Having a more understanding of people will help you with dealing with people. So you won't be so quick to judge somebody or cast somebody out over something. Like I deal with anybody. Like I told you, I was in the streets, so I deal with people in the streets. I deal with people with intellect. I deal with people with all walks of life. I'm the type of person that get along with everybody. Like everybody knows me, everybody cool with me. Nobody has no issue with me over we bumped heads or something like that. I have understanding with everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's like once you understand yourself, I figured like it took a long time. It took like 5-6 years to figure this out, that once you get an understanding of yourself, you really have a broad understanding of everything. You go to a new higher level of understanding to where it's like anything you want to know, you could just figure it out. You know, you could sit there and never have touched a phone in your life, but say your phone messing up, you could sit there and look at that phone and say, all right, this has got to be it. And you'll go in your phone, do it, and it'll fix. And you'll be like, damn, that was it. That's all I had to do was just figure it out. And it's crazy because a lot of people, I feel everybody has that possibility to tap in. Like when they say tap into yourself to figure out anything, I feel like everybody has that capability. It's just, you have to have the will to want to tap into it. It's not just going to open up. It's like a door. You know what I'm saying? A door not just going to open up for you when you walk to it. You got to turn that knob and push it open. You know what I'm saying? It takes some type of force for you to walk through that door to go to the other side of the room. And I feel like that's the same way with us. We just got to tap in with ourselves, open that door, and be able to travel through our body. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy said, it's different realms of energy inside just your body alone. You just have to figure out how to open it up and tap into it and control it. And man, it's a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? I'm still working on it. A lot of people are still working on it, and some people are too scared to work on it. But I feel like it's something vital for you to understand in the future. You know what I'm saying? And it's something good to pass on to your kids. Because imagine if my mother was open or my father was open to that spiritual side, and they was able to help coach me with that at a young age. I would have had an understanding better of it right then and there, to where I wouldn't have had to go through the feeling crazy and all this type of issues. You know what I'm saying? And thinking something wrong with me when it's not, and moving a certain way and doing things and not understanding why I want to do it this way. And you know what I'm saying? It would have helped a whole lot if somebody would have broke that down to me. But you know, everything happens for a reason. So when I have my little ones, I'm definitely passing on that. Like as soon as you pop out, you're gonna start training immediately. You know, you're gonna be ready for it. You're gonna take in the sun. You're gonna eat healthy, everything. You know, and I hope that everyone else falls in line on that too, because it'll help save a lot of people and a lot of depression that happens on the planet. You know, and I feel like when we're healthier mentally, I feel like the planet's healthier mentally. You know what I'm saying? It's just a start. It's a starter process. But yeah, stop rambling. It's what, hour 42 minutes? Yeah. So yeah, man, that was a good live right there, man. It was Sunblood at night. Had to come on and do my talk, you know, do my thing. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'll be live. I don't know exactly when I'll be live, but I'll definitely be going live again and going to the next topic, you know. So appreciate y'all. Peace and abundance. Love.